Hey guys, what's up? This is another Beatles fan, and today we are going to talk about Band on the Run, underdubs, right? Paul will release the Band on the Run underdubs on the 2nd of February, this Friday, but I managed to get a hold of the mixes before it released. So here I am with some information about it. I'm gonna give you guys my honest opinion and give you guys a bit of a landscape of what's to come if you haven't had the chance to hear it yet. Anyway, what is an underdub before we start, right? Well, an underdub is the opposite of an overdub. An overdub is when, for example, I have a piece of music and I want to add a different instrument. For example, I want to add bass to a song that doesn't have bass. Well, I just record the bass over the final song. And the underdub is the opposite, right? It's a term that Paul coined. It's the idea that you take the songs from Band on the Run we know and love, and we remove a few elements so we can hear the song differently. And that's what it feels like to listen to Band on the Run underdubbed. It's a new experience. You view the songs through a different lens. And we know, if you guys are not familiar with this story, that Paul, during Band on the Run, recorded this album with Danny Lane and Linda on Lagos, Nigeria. So he actually got mugged one day when he was walking from the studio to his hotel, and he lost all the tapes. The robber took all the tapes of the songs that already had been recorded with him, and that meant that he lost lots of work that he and Denny and Linda had already done. So they had to restart again. And that also could mean that we lost some valuable outtakes, right? So that's kind of what I feel like the underdubs are for. This is the 50 years anniversary edition of Band on the Run. So I think Paul really wanted to give us something more. Um, and of course, it's a new excuse for us to buy the record, right? So it makes sense that it would have been the outtakes like the Beatles, but we don't have outtakes. And yeah, Linda plays the keyboard, but it's just Paul and Danny playing the the main parts of the song. So it would be weird to have an outtake, for example, of Paul playing the drums and Danny playing an acoustic guitar. It wouldn't be so much fun to listen to. So I get why Paul did that. I get why Paul did the underdubs. And let's talk about what I feel they represent, what I feel they accomplish, what I feel they don't. Um, so most takes of the instruments are the original ones, especially the drums and bass. So you're gonna have mostly the takes for guitar and bass and drums we already are familiar with, the same ones in the recording. What changes though is sometimes you have a lead vocal, a guide vocal, I mean, instead of the real lead vocal we are used to, a guide vocal that we can see um, through Paul singing that it's supposed to be replaced, right? Most songs have this, not most of them, but some of them actually. We don't have any strings or brass, so it's cool to see that this is what Paul, Linda, and Danny kind of heard. The rough mixes they heard on Nigeria before they added the overdubs, the strings, and so on. And it's weird because your brain kind of fills in the moments, right? For example, with the end of Jet, where I think it's a saxophone does that part, the final lick of the brass instrument there. Paul sings along, and our imagination kind of fills in the rest. And it's so fun listening to Paul sing along because, and it's especially noticeable in the book I'm reading, McCartney Legacy. I forgot to pick it up, it's right here above me. But we notice that Paul usually has the whole arrangement of the song in his mind. It's something very strong to him. So um, we can hear in some tracks that Paul knows exactly what he's doing, right? And it's fun. There's some different instruments popping up. A weird keyboard or a weird synth that I hadn't noticed before. The spacing, since we don't have a lot of overdubs on top, it gives room for the original instruments to shine a bit, right? So, for example, there's the talking at the beginning of Jet, where Paul screams, "Come on, baby." We can hear the talking more prominently. We can hear the harmonies on the words, and that's one of the highlights for me of the experience. Really, the harmonies on the words are exceptional. They feel great, and we can hear how good of a bass and of a drummer Paul is. And of course, we all know here how great of a drummer, of a bassist Paul is. But really, he really shines on drums on this album. I believe his style of drumming throughout the album is really reminiscent of Ringo's, in the sense that he has these ideas for the drummings. He really composes his parts. He writes his parts down. That's what it feels like, and it all serves the music so well. So, if I had to point out something that gave me a bigger appreciation for of the original album, was Paul's drumming. And yeah, that's it. A really quick video. That's kind of my impressions, what I felt through listening to it. I've listened to it twice, and it was really fun. Um, to sum up, I think it was fun. It's a fun experience. It's a fun listening. Um, it's fun listening to a different version of the album we love, right? But at the same time, I don't feel like it replaces anything. I don't feel like I love to hear outtakes if I'm in the mood for an album. If I'm in the mood for an All Things Must Pass or a White Album, I go listen to the outtakes or the Esher demos. And this doesn't feel like it. Doesn't feel like it's gonna do that for me, actually. So I'm kind of relieved I didn't buy the 2 LP version. I bought the 1 LP half speed master version of Band on the Run. And I feel like we could have had some more rough mixes. For example, of Hell on Wheels. Hell on Wheels is available on the 1 LP version of the album. Um, the American pressing of Man on the Run has Hell on Wheels, which is something I don't like, to be honest. I much prefer Man on the Run without Hell on Wheels, although I don't dislike the song. I like the song, but I think Man on the Run fits without Hell on Wheels. And it would be fun to hear some rough mixes of that. Also, of Country Dreamer, quite like the song. Um, so yeah, it's a bit of a missed opportunity. I think it's fun. I don't think I'll go back to it too often. And yeah, that's it. So, what do you guys think? Are you excited for it? Have you had the chance to hear it? It's out there on the internet. So please, yeah, let me know, right? I'll see you later, guys. Thank you so much for for coming, and please leave a like, subscribe, and tell me what you think down below. Okay, this is another Beatles fan. I'm out.